I mean, he ain't really fucking the hoe, right? Well, damn. Bitch, you guessed it. Whew. You was right.
It's 8:45. The weather's getting better by the hour. Hope it rains there all the time. And if you ever said you missed me, then don't say you never lied. I'm without you. And tell all the English boys you meet about the American boy back in the States. The American boy you used to date, who would do anything you said. And tell all the English boys you meet about the American boy back in the States. The American boy you used to date, who would do anything you said. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. We're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it right. So tell all the English boys you meet about the American boy back in the States. The American boy you used to date, who would do anything you said. Thank you.
I had an existential freak out earlier this week. I thought I got to be a sane musician, but apparently that doesn't happen. Can I do one song and then one super short song? Or do we get one song or two songs tonight? Oh my God. Here, this is a new one called Words, and it's about how people do not say what's on their mind half the time. Don't want to talk about the weather. That conversation's getting cold. I heard you bought a nice new sweater. The other one was looking really old. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones you really want to say. Without those words, 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 we're all just talking anyway. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones you're too afraid to say. Without those words, 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 what do you sound like? What do you sound like when you play? I heard you got yourself a new job. Tell me, how much does it pay? What are you doing with the money? Oh, I bought a nice new car today. But where are the words, 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 words? The ones you really need to say. Without those words, 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 we're all just talking anyway. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones you're too afraid to say. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones that come out when you pray. Silence golden, I've come not seeking treasure. Give me pain and give me pleasure, not just words, 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 words. What do you really want to say without those words, 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 words? We're all just talking anyway. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones you're too afraid to say. Where are the words, 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 words? The ones that come out when you pray. Thank you. This next one is kind of half a song. It's not done. I started writing funny music. I used to not write funny music because I was like, that'll never be on the radio. But now I'm like, screw that. This song is funny. Let's say we have ourselves a three-way. Just me, myself, and I. We can eat some Ben and Jerry's, watch The Notebook and cry. Just me and my right hand. A little left action too. It's just me and my right hand. Since the day that I left you, it's just me and my right hand. Lord, until my balls are blue, it's just me and my right hand. Every day without my boo. All my socks are getting crusty. And the Kleenex box is empty. I don't have the rest of the words to the song, 'cause I forgot to write them. I was fapping all night long. Just me and my right hand. A little left action too. It's just me and my right hand. since the day that I lost you. It's just me and my right hand until my balls are blue. It's just me and my right hand since the day I lost my boo. Thank you.
Hi, we're Black Giraffe. And we're playing one of Sid's favorite songs called Forming by the Germs, or is it the Germs by Forming? It's called Forming by the Germs. All right. How fast is it going? All right, here we go. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm the trigger, I am bigger than Mr. President, you might have. Listen, he says we're coming out. Infiltration, we're never your lines. Concentration, we've done time. Rhythm down, hold them up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. Over there, the queen, she says, let's hang them out and dry these tears. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. In the cold, the eyes are claiming, just pretending. Rockets aiming, alteration, earth is changing. Observation, we want action. Rhythm down, hold them up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. I, the emperor, proclaim us the masters in this game. Inclination, something to dream on. Desperation, we are sons. Put me down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. Mr. President, his White House, listen, he says we're coming out. Infiltration, we're up your minds. Concentration, we've done time. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. Over there, the queen, she says let's hang them out and dry these tears. We got taxes, flagellation, we've got cashes. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. In the cold, the stars are claiming, just pretending. Rockets aiming, alteration, earth is changing. Observation, you want action. Rhythm down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Observation, I, the emperor, proclaim us the masters in this game. Inclination, something to dream on. Desperation, we are sons. Rip me down, hold me up, tell me that I'm your gun. Pull my trigger, I am bigger than. Anyway, any why, anyhow, whoever would buy this shit, fucking jerk. You're playing it all wrong. The chords are too slow, the bass is too fast. The chords are all wrong, making the ending too long. I quit.
All right, so I'm gonna try this. This is the return of the banjo. So if you guys remember, I tried this once before, and we'll try it again. So I've practiced this with like a bass amp, so I don't know if this is gonna sound as deep as it needs to be, but we're gonna go for it. Can you turn that on? Okay. So this is a song I heard on the radio, and as with most songs I hear, just in general, I thought to myself, that could use some more banjo. So I was gonna try this. I want you by my side so that I never feel alone again. They've always been so kind. Got you away from me. Hope they didn't get your mind. Your heart is too strong anyway. We need to fetch back the time they have stolen from us. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. Dancing on, do the boogie all night long. In paradise, I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. Dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about it. Coldest winter for me. The sun's shining anymore. The only thing I feel is pain caused by absence of you. Spins controlling my mind. I cannot find a way out of here. I want you by my side so I never feel alone again. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. And talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, and talk about it. I want you on the floor. Never danced like this before. Talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise.
All right. Not really. All right. You may recognize us as members of the band Several Bears. We will not be performing as Several Bears tonight. We will be performing as Several Beers. So we would like to ask the lead vocalist of Several Beers to come up and join us. Where are you? Caroline? Caroline, we need you. Alright. So the UTC regulars may recognize this song.
I'm so sorry.
Several beers, unlike several bears, is solely a cover band.
I'm really sorry, and I did not agree to this until 30 minutes ago.
She happened to walk in on our practice.
I made a terrible
which meant
mistake.
She became our lead vocalist. It was pretty odd. By the way, if you ever walk in on a several beers practice, you may become the lead vocalist.
Yeah.
All right, Krish, hit it. One, two, three, four. There's beer.
Coffee mugs, water bottles, and soda cups, and it's clear as the windows I came through.
That you are in one of those moods, and I am in one of them too, and it's hard to communicate anything. And I will remember that summer, as the summer I was taking steroids. You feel like a man with muscles, and I like
Steroids.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's the cops are coming in, kind of sobering up. It's a goal I never learned that I do not give a fuck. Friends are happy, I am happy. I have learned to adapt to a darker kind of humor. I can still hear him laugh.
And there's beer, coffee mugs,
water bottles, and soda cups, and it's clear as the windows
I
I
came I will remember that summer, as the summer I was taking steroids. 'Cause you like a man with muscles, and I like steroids. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's an aerial view from your house to my room.
My room, there's an aerial view from my house to your room.
I am looking in your window and I'm trying not to stare, holding on to something that was
Not even there. Aerial view.
Cause it's an aerial view from your house to my room. As the summer I was taking steroids.
As the summer I was taking steroids. As the summer I was taking steroids.
Okay, cool. So, in the honor of the fact that tonight is comedy night, here is 2 comedy songs. And in honor of the fact that Sunday is Easter, here is my understanding of Easter as a Jewish person. Basically means I don't understand Easter. Easter time is here again, and it's the day we celebrate, the morning that the Easter bunny rises from the grave. And if he sees his shadow, then it's 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't see it, everyone gets Cadbury creamed eggs. And he never sees his shadow, thank the Lord. Moses and the Hebrews never celebrated Easter. They were busy building pyramids and matzah for the Greeks. So that night they set the pharaoh's clocks ahead 1 hour, and they all escaped, and that's why we put colored eggs in baskets with jelly beans and neon plastic grass. Plus there was that final supper with the 12 apostles, but the word in Aramaic for apostles is a peeps, and that is how they got the name for those marshmallow treats. So every time you eat those little yellow chicks and bunnies, you actually are swallowing apostles. So that's the Easter story, even though we didn't mention anything about the burning bush or chocolate-covered Pope. You might want to do a bit more research on the details, 'cause in truth I mostly slept my way through Sunday school. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. And this is a lullaby. It's called Lullaby. When the weight of the world is on your shoulder, when the sorrow grips your heart and it's getting colder, when the shadows are around you and the clouds block out the sun, there is still a path by the light above my door. When you feel like a lamb among the lions, when you've nothing left to give and feel like dying, when you just don't have it in you to take another step, I will be right here to help you take one more. And I will take you by the hand, and I will say I understand, and I will bring you comfort, and I will dry your tears, and I will sing a lullaby to your vagina. When the path that you're on leads through the fire, when you're sad and your vagina's oh so tired, when your lady parts are weary and your soul hurts from the strain, I will be your strength and your vagina's friend. When your every day is the darkest of the season, when existence seems to lose all of its reason, when the flower of your womanhood feels broken and afraid, I will help your womb get on its feet again. And I will gently stroke your hair, and I will say how much I care, and I will ease your burden, and I will make you whole, and I will sing a lullaby to your vagina. Hush, vagina, don't cry, vagina. Oh, sleep, vagina, sleep. Hush, vagina, don't cry, vagina. Oh, sleep, vagina, sleep. Hush, vagina, don't cry, vagina. Oh, sleep, vagina, sleep. Good night, my love. Good night to you, to every part of you, especially your vagina.
Shadows are falling all over town. Another night in these blues got me down. Oh, misery, I sure could use some company. Since you've been gone, I ain't been the same. I carry the weight like an old ball and chain. Guess it's all meant to be, for love to cause me misery. Oh, misery, oh, misery. Tell me, why does my heart make a fool of me? Seems it's my destiny for love to cause me misery. And oh, I've been down this road before, where the passion that turns into pain. And each time I saw love walk out the door, I swore never to come again. But ain't it true? It takes what it takes. And sometimes you get too tired, too late. One more heartache for me, another night of misery. Oh, yeah. Tell me, why does my heart make a fool of me? Misery, hey, misery. Tell me, why does this heart make a fool of me? Seems it's my destiny for love to cause me misery. Oh, yeah. Guess it's all meant to be, for love to cause me misery. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
All right, this song's called Sex on Fire. Lay where you're laying, don't make a sound. I know they're watching all the commotion. Killing the pain. There's people talking. You, this sex is on fire. Dark of the alley, the break of the day. Here while I'm driving. Soft lips are open, knuckles are pale. Feels like I'm dying. I'm dying. You, this sex is on fire. And so were the words to transpire. Hard as a fever, rattling in bones. I could just taste it, just taste it. If it's not forever, if it's just tonight, we're still the greatest, the greatest, the greatest. You, this sex is on fire. And so were the words to transpire. Thank you. And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over, I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's meant to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. 'Cause you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your lives. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you'd bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's meant to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. Thank you.
So, now that we're ready to rock and roll, how many of you have been to a UTC show before by Geekapalooza? Good. So we brought some fresh material, some fresh faces. You guys might have seen my face around campus for stuff. I actually had one of my friends accuse me of hosting this show to further my political campaign or whatever. I know, I was so offended. So I promised him that this venue tonight will be purely for comedy, and I will not plug that I'm running for vice president of the SGA, and that you can check out my platform at missyandzayn.com. And he was like, are you gonna plug Zayn Sharif Comedy, your Facebook page where you upload weekly sketches? And I was like, no. And he was like, are you gonna tell them that we had this conversation and attribute all the plugging to me? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, do they know I don't exist and you created a hypothetical person? And I was like, I'll leave that one up to them. First up, we have the mastermind behind the Geekapalooza Comedy Tour. And by tour, we mean UTC shows every now and then. His name is Dr. Pete Ludovice. He looks a bit like Homer Simpson, but he's a great guy. So come on up, Pete. Give him a round of applause.
So, Trey, can you push record on that damn camera back there? We're trying to get some video here tonight. It ought to be good. Ooh. Gesundheit. Is it on? Is the red light something going? All right, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Pete Ludovis. I'm in the chemical engineering faculty, and I teach everything from statistical mechanics to biomaterials here during the day. In the evening, I tell inappropriate off-color jokes to drunk people. Surprisingly, it's not that much different. And we shouldn't be surprised by that, because I also do research. Research is a weird thing. Everybody thinks, well, if he does research, he must know what he's doing. No! Because think about it. We're trying to find an answer that's unknown. I tell my graduate students, if we really knew what we were doing, it wouldn't be research. And there is some messed up research here on campus, right? So I actually interviewed a guy from robotics and mechanical engineering. And what he works on is getting robots to get trusted by humans. Right? I interviewed this guy on the radio, and the first question I asked him was, have you ever seen a science fiction movie ever? That cannot be a good idea. So I asked him, what possible application could you have for tricking humans to trust robots? And who funds your research? I'm thinking robots. So he tells me the application is, say grandma doesn't want to take her medication, right? You can train a robot to trick grandma into taking her medication, right? I would prefer some way to get grandma to take her medication that does not potentially cause us to be enslaved by our robotics overlords. I'm a little worried about robots. I think at my age, the only two robots I'm going to deal with is the one that tricks me into jumping in the chute and the one at the other end that grinds me into Soylent Green. So speaking of ways to get grandma to take her medication, I also work with a company that has taken the ingredients from Red Bull and put it in a transdermal patch. I kid you now. It's called the 8-Hour Energy Patch. And I don't know if this is a boon to nerds like us everywhere or a heinous crime against humanity. But either way, they've got this great advertising thing on their website. If you go there, they remind you that 1 patch gives you a 4-hour boost. 2 patches gives you an 8-hour boost. And 3 patches gives you a 12-hour boost. Purely by anecdotal observation, I realized that 7 patches gives you a really bad karaoke night. It cannot be good. All right. So Zane was plugging some crap up here before because he is running for SGA president and vice president. Because I'm an underpaid college professor, I will plug the T-shirts I'm going to be selling after the show, right? So you can buy this one, Nerds Kick Ass, right? I sell this to middle school kids when I do the USA Science and Engineering Festival. And I write them, not only is it informational about the periodic table, Darmstadium, which was named in 2010, it's kind of a history lesson. Darmstadium changed the way we did T-shirts like this. Before Darmstadium was named, but the only things that we could put on a T-shirt in the elements of the periodic table that were cool were swear words. Parents get pissed off at me over that one. They're like, Pete, what the fluorine, uranium, carbon, potassium are you talking about? That's all right. If you didn't get that joke, we have a name for you, normal. But I've got a new one. I did a show in Denver, and I'm a big believer in using cannabinoid derivatives to create analgesic, anti-tumor drugs, things like that. I'm a little pissed that it was DuPont about 3 decades ago that caused us to outlaw hemp and things like that, so I'm getting even with them with my new Denver shirt. And for the biochemists in the room, that is the Delta-9 cannabinoid, tetrahydrocannabinol. Better living through chemistry. So I sell these on my website for $20, $15 after the show at the end if you're interested in buying one of those. And I talked to the guys in the chemistry department. You can wear this during an Orgo 2 exam. So that should come in handy. Yeah, and that's the problem, right, is that as engineers and scientists, we don't market ourselves very well, right? We're not very good at that. At least until the appearance of my new heroes, the Geek Squad from Best Buy. I love these guys, right? They got the black tie, the white shirt, the flood pants, the pocket protector. I've actually got some plastic vinyl pocket protectors at the back for you there as well. I'm a big fan of the plastic vinyl pocket protector. I wear mine at comedy clubs wherever I go because mine comes completely equipped with the laser pointer. And I find nothing says back off to a would-be heckler at a comedy club like a 5-milliwatt laser right in the eye. And I open for a lot of comedians. They're always asking me, Pete, were there hecklers in the audience? How can I tell where the hecklers are? I'm like, dude, it's easy. Look for the guy going like this. Ah! So, yeah, the pocket protectors work really well for me. But that's the thing. We don't market ourselves very well. But the Geek Squad makes sense, right? Because the Geek Squad is marketing genius, right? It's really good for normal people because normal people like their geeks to look like geeks, right? Gives us credibility, right? Until we're walking up the front steps of your house and you're thinking, is that the Geek Squad I called an hour ago to fix my hard drive or a Mormon missionary? They look remarkably alike. And I'm not going to apologize for that joke. I told that joke at a comedy club in Salt Lake City, Utah. And there was a Mormon right in the front row. He goes, well, it's easy to tell. You just look outside, see if he's got a VW Bug or a bicycle. That's how you tell. Now, he was drinking a Jack and Coke, so I don't know how Mormon he was. But I will take him at his word, right? And don't get me wrong, I got nothing against Mormons. I got a lot of Mormon friends, right? And my Mormon friends tell me that in their religion, heaven is where you're reunited with all your deceased relatives. I think that's a very nice sentiment. I believe that's going to happen to me one day, except I'm Catholic, so we call that hell. It's very, very, thank you, I appreciate that. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to apologize for being bad marketers, right? Because the regular marketers aren't that good either. Do we have any Scheller College of Business people in the audience? Make some noise if you're from the Scheller College of Business. Yeah, see, they don't want to do that. You're afraid the engineers are going to pick on you. They will, but then you'll laugh all the way to the bank afterwards, so that works for you. But yeah, that's kind of funny that I don't think they market very well. For example, the business marketing folks don't give good names to products. They give funny names to products. Good example was I was walking through the dog food aisle a couple months ago, saw this giant yellow bag of Old Yeller dog food. Right? Didn't we shoot Old Yeller at the end of that film? That cannot be a good way to market dog food. Might be a good way to market the shotgun we took Old Yeller out with. I can imagine that marketing campaign. Old Yeller, the favorite shotgun of Vice President Dick Cheney. But yeah, another one that's really funky is I'm a huge fan of the breakfast combos at the International House of Pancakes. But I think you'll all agree that most adult heterosexual men have difficulty ordering the Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity, right? Sounds like a gay porn film that involves a goat and a papaya. Why, Lance, you're not licking yourself today. Are you feeling all right? I was on the set this morning. We did the Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Now help me get this papaya out of my ass. All right, thank you. It's great you'd laugh at that joke. All right, and then here's the ultimate insult about marketing, right? The marketing people put slogans they have no business being. They put them in places they should never be. Good example, I actually saw a marketing slogan on that little plastic cage that holds the urinal cake in place. Okay, it's not actually cake, right? It's that deodorizing thing, right? I mean, what are you thinking? What's coming next? Toilet, tart, bidet, pie? No, it's just a deodorizer. Apparently, they have to put it in a cage because some guys pee for distance and try to play hockey with it or something like that. But they had a marketing slogan on it, and the marketing slogan said, "Say no to drugs." Which makes no sense to me because if you're reading the urinal on a regular basis, ladies and gentlemen, haven't you already said yes to drugs? And that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pete Ludovis, and you enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, let's keep it going for Dr. Pete. All right, I'm going to read out a few of the comics. Next up, we have John Quinn. Then we have, all right, great. Please stay after he goes. After that, we have Rahul Topiwala, my good friend Trey Braun, then Andres and Shale, and then we have the second half of the show. So, please give it up for John Quinn. Making my way down now. All right, this is about to be good.
All right, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. This is Stand-Up Comedy 101. You will need 2 items. You're going to need a stool, and you're going to need a water bottle. Step 1, place the water bottle on the stool. Step 2, what's the deal? I call that stand-up comedy instructor who wants to suck Seinfeld's dick. This is actually huge for me. I did a coffee shop show about a week ago, and there were like maybe a fifth as many people there as there are here tonight, and I brought half of them with me. So, but I like going to coffee shops. My mom's from Colombia, so whenever I go to a coffee shop, I feel like I'm supporting the homeland. And it's definitely the cheaper of the two ways to support Colombia, Because, shipping on the other one is just way too expensive. You gotta get it flown in overnight, under the radar. And obviously I'm talking about cut flowers, which are Colombia's second biggest export. So, you've got your coffee over down at the coffee shop, flowers that you'll have at your wedding, also from Colombia. The cocaine that you got at that warehouse rave you went to last weekend, definitely from Colombia. I didn't drink or smoke much in high school, though. It's not that I didn't want to, it's just more that I was never invited. We can't all be beautiful and popular, Zane. No, but I used to get self-righteous about it. I used to make fun of the people who did drink and do drugs, and I was like, oh, they're such idiots. One time I told my dad the story I had heard about people down the street who had tried to smoke oregano to get high, because that makes sense. You've got your compressed air, your glue, and your Italian spices, the home high trifecta right there. And then Dad says to me, he's like, well, son, that's how we used to short people in high school. And that's when I realized that my dad was a dealer. It's too bad he's not anymore, because we could go to Colorado and get a small business loan, maybe. But then I got to tech, and that is a school full of people who never got invited anywhere. And it's almost like we had to make up for lost time. Oh, you've never had a beer before? Have some Everclear Kool-Aid. If that's not too crazy for you, well, then we'll light it on fire later. My drink of choice lately has actually, it's been bourbon. I like bourbon. You're in a bar drinking bourbon, people don't want to fuck with you. It's kind of a badass drink. And that's nice, because if somebody tried to mess with me in a bar, I would probably cry. So bourbon is douchebag repellent. So a lot of us was talking about how College of Business people get made fun of. I'd say that, who has it even worse than that? Freaking Ivan Allen College people. Liberal arts over here. You see, whenever somebody posts an article about the top 10 money-making schools, tech is always at the top. And then I look at that and I say, yeah, that's not for me. That's not for me. You guys are going to be making the money. I'm just going to be rubbing two pennies together trying to write the great American novel. But like I said, my mom's from Colombia, and in case you couldn't tell, I'm Latino. In case you couldn't tell from the amount of chest hair I'm showing right now. But my dad is also Latino. His grandparents were from the Dominican Republic. So something that my parents used to do when I failed to learn Spanish as a kid, since I went to school in Georgia, something my parents used to do is they wouldn't talk about me behind my back. No, they'd just talk about me in front of my face, but in Spanish. So it got to the point, though, where I started to learn what they were saying. I started to figure it out. And one time I called Dad out on it. I said, did you just say that, Dad? Did you just call me that? At that point, he just looks at my mom and he says, Sonia, we need to learn Japanese. But my mom is actually a Spanish teacher. She teaches at a school, but she used to do private lessons to this little kid named Elliot, and they would work in the kitchen of my house. And whenever Mom was giving Spanish lessons, I would have to cook for the night, so oftentimes I would walk through there. Now, real quick, I'll give you guys a Spanish lesson. The Spanish word for shit is mierda. Now, I didn't know this for most of my life because my mom didn't want me to cuss in English or Spanish. She didn't want my first words to be, ay, hueputa come mierda, which translates to, son of a whore, eat shit. But the Spanish word for shit sounds a lot like another Spanish word. That word is miércoles, and which is the Spanish word for Wednesday. Now, one day I'm walking into the kitchen, I'm getting ready to start dinner, And I go to open the freezer so that I can get my ingredients, maybe start defrosting some meat. I open the freezer, all of it just falls on the floor. Everything's falling out. It looks like the avalanche scene in Inception. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio is just on my floor now. And my mom hears the noise. She turns around. She sees Leo DiCaprio on my floor begging someone for an Oscar. And she says, John Sebastian Quinpuerta miércoles. And this little kid, Elliot, he just looks up and he says, it is Wednesday. Anyway, that's about my time. I'm John Quinn, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Next up, we have Rahul Topiwala. I know what you're going to ask. He is not the main character from Slumdog Millionaire. But he is a good friend. So, give it up for Rahul with 2 R's, Topiwala.
Yes. My name is Rahul Topiwala with 2 R's. And since we're at tech, I might as well start off with a little nerdy reference. You guys are familiar with the Force, right, from Star Wars? I sense a disturbance in the Force. Yeah. I have a similar gift, at least I'd like to think so. Every time I try to explain my name, I can feel the collective resentment of 1 million Starbucks baristas everywhere. It's really awkward. I'm responsible for more twisted tongues than bad cunnilingus. Not that I would know, of course, I've never done it. How do you know? Because I just called it cunnilingus. Every time I try to explain my name, every time the barista tries to say my name when she's gonna give me my cappuccino, it sounds like someone trying to speak with their dentures falling off while they're having a stroke. So it's always like, Rahul Topi. Dude, is the cashier okay? Yeah, no, fuck it. It's just my cappuccino. Never mind. But yeah, a weird name usually means a weird family. So I was born in Mumbai, India, and my mother and father lived there their whole lives. They went to the same school, and they met each other. They got married pretty early, at the age of 21. Okay, early by Indian standards, but early by American standards. By Indian standards, it was like, what took you so long? But they got married, and to give you a little background on who they were, my dad was like sort of the class athlete, if you will. He was a really good cricket player, and if you guys aren't familiar with cricket, I know most of y'all aren't, you really should try it. It's a lot of fun. It's like baseball without all that annoying, movement. And my mom was pretty popular. She was like the class babe or whatever, if you will. It never gets less weird. She reminds me all the time. That's what happens when you're 40. But yeah, they met, they got married, and they had me, which doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about it, because you had the class athlete, class babe, combining their genes to produce what must have been an incredible super baby, and I'm as confused as you are. Like, it's not that I mind being this skinny all the time. I know skinny is generally considered good, but it does feel a little bit weird when I look through my phone and I see the numbers of like 50 supermodels, and I know none of them want to sleep with me. They just want to know how I got like this. And sometimes it can get very bad. Like, by American standards especially, I'm not even skinny yet. Like, I'm the kid they put on a poster in Africa so the starving children have something to feel good about. Like, if you put me through a spaghetti machine, I would come out unchanged, I guarantee you. But yeah, it's strange. I mean, I had a pretty good childhood. I came here when I came here for college, and I'm really lucky to have the opportunity. I wish I made better use of it. by which I mean I procrastinate a lot, and I shouldn't. And fucking BuzzFeed. It's like, I don't know what happens to my brain after 2 a.m., but when I get on Facebook or when I get on the internet, it goes out of its way to find something that it knows I will never have to use. Like, I will be up at 4 a.m. asking myself, why do I need to know how to clean a vagina on BuzzFeed? And like, do I need to know? No. Do I want to? Yes. And it's always... It's always like it happens most before a test, which is the worst. That's the last moment you should be doing it. Like I'll be up at 4 a.m. and I'll go to the thermo test with like 3 hours of sleep max, sitting there looking at the questions going, shit, this is not the fluid dynamics I was looking at a while ago. And it's not just BuzzFeed. Like, especially for an international student like me, it's a bit strange because you guys have really good-looking women. Like, American women are really, really attractive by Indian standards. Like, an Indian student will not tell you this, but it will be at the back of his mind. Like, he will. If you want to increase the curve in favor of like non-Asians, put the American girls next to the Indian guys in every test. It'll happen, I guarantee you. Like, and the thing with American girls is, especially for us, they're very sweet, they're very outgoing. It's really easy to talk to, but they're also a lot harder to approach for us. Like, we feel very intimidated. Like, I was at a party. Woman there, my friend wanted to go talk to him, and he was stuttering, he was stammering, he was being awkward, and she was, like, I could tell, she was about to, punch him, because she felt he was getting really weird, and I went over there, I decided to help him, and I took his hand and I said, look, this kid here, he came from the other side of the world. He is one of the smartest children in a country of 1.2 billion people. He has beaten me in every test. He has made me feel utterly useless. He has one of the best brains in this college. And you just broke it. You really should realize the significance of what you've just done. Your existence has lobotomized this man. If you lived during post-World War II when they were practicing all these experiments, you would have saved scientists a lot of time. And yeah, you know what? It worked. I helped him because she punched me instead. So, so what I'm trying to say is, ladies, if you see a guy there and he's being awkward, he's not talking to you properly, you should be a little more forgiving because he can't tell you how beautiful you are because of how beautiful you are. So, just go up to him, be nice. You don't have to date him, you don't have to do anything, just make him feel good about himself. But this doesn't work the other way. Like, if you're an Indian girl and he's a white guy, especially if he's wearing a green apron, he might just be trying to tell you your latte is ready. So, that's my time. Thank you guys so much.
My boy Rahul crushing it. Good job, buddy. So if any white women want to sleep with an Indian guy tonight, I'm the one. My favorite part of Rahul's set was when he said his mom is a babe. She is, dude, she is. All right, next up, it is my honor to bring to the stage an old comic friend of mine who his kindness is only surpassed by how scary he looks. Please welcome my good friend, Trey Braun.
I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to adjust. I know me and Raul Bit of a difference there. It's kind of like the polar opposite, I guess. Sorry, Zane's voice, he was like, ha ha ha. Good start. So it's day 8, right? Since Zane left the band. So I apologize if I'm not 100% tonight. It's been difficult piecing my life back together. I'm wearing a shirt that says "Run" on it. The irony does not escape me. My wife was quick to point it out in the store. I said, "There's not a lot of double X's in here," and she's like, "It is a running store." And I was like, a lot of thin privilege out there. You see it a lot. You see it a lot in hot yoga. I know they say childbirth is the worst pain a person can feel, but it can't be much worse than when you're a fat guy and they turn the AC off. That's terrible. I'm squinting tonight. I broke my glasses, man. I'm getting contacts, though. You know what's really messed up? People make fun of you for squinting, even though that's technically a disability. Like, you wouldn't do that if a guy had MS. I'm sorry if anyone in here has MS. Not because of that joke, just because it's a terrible disease. But I get along fine. Just squint, no problem. I'm like -1, no big deal. It can be awkward, like, you know, walking through Victoria's Secret. And you're like, oh, yeah. What's going on in here? My wife coaches youth volleyball, and that's the toughest part because I'm not old enough to have a daughter in the program, so I'm just a creepy big guy sitting on the bench. Oh, man. These girls sure can play. My wife played volleyball. I like watching volleyball. It's fun. Word of advice, the butt slapping, only for the players. They don't tell you that. You get in big trouble there. I already did that joke. See, class is screwing me up already. Easter? Easter's coming up. You know? Can't give it up for the Lord. Jesus died on the cross for our sins. It's tough being the coach's kid, isn't it? They're like, all right, Jesus, you're in there. He's like, Gabriel hasn't played all game. Come on, Jesus. You're my main man. Lent, the lead up to Easter, it's been good. Did anybody give anything up for Lent? Yeah, what'd you give up? Hot wings, that's a good one. Man, my wife gave up chocolate and fried food. That's noble. I gave up being so judgmental of myself. You want to have a hot wing? No one's gonna, God's gonna forgive you. Eat some chocolate, no big deal. I'm a Christian. I'm a white man, which, if you get the opportunity, I hate to admit this because of the reaction I know I'm gonna get. I'm a Republican. Thank you. Thank you. You don't see that a lot. You don't see a lot of Republicans in higher education. That wasn't supposed to be a joke. It just proves you can't. Okay, never mind. What were you saying? Oh, I had a point. Yeah, probably. Not anymore, though. But it's difficult arguing with someone on the opposite side of the political spectrum. I mean, you know what? I'm just moving on. They said do new material tonight. That's why I did a joke about my fucking shirt. They also said keep it PG-13, so I get 2 F words and 1 set of breasts, so. If I could get a volunteer, I just. Marriage has been fun. It takes some getting used to. My mom, like, we just get to know each other's families. There's some eclecticism there. Like, my mom is hyper competitive. Like, we're playing Yahtzee and she's got spreadsheets with the odds going all the time. And like, we'll sit down and she's like, I'm gonna beat you. And I'm like, Mom, it's Yahtzee. Yahtzee's extremely funny to some people. It's a funny word. But her mom's dyslexic, so it's hard to play games with her too. Like we'll play Cards Against Humanity, and I'm like, who would you never invite to a bar mitzvah? Highlighter. God damn it, Kelly. Because somebody's explaining it. Thank you. Oh! No, it's a brand name, stupid. There was a young fellow from Kent with a member so long that it bent. To savor the trouble, he folded it double, and instead of coming, he went. Anonymous. This is an original one. Do I want to do this? Oh my God. A lady from Brookhaven Way was famously deft with a lay. She'd grind on your member July to December, then blow you till St. Patty's Day. I shouldn't have done that one. God damn it. George O'Leary said that. I don't agree with this whole homeless thing. It's no way to live your life. No, because, like, you give them money, they're just going to go buy the drugs. So you got to, I give them a test. I'm like, no, come on. I'll go get you a Jimmy John sandwich. The guy's walking by, and he's like, no, man, I just need the money. I'm like, I don't have any money, but there's a Jimmy John's right down the block. And the guy's like, I'm going this way. And I'm like, you're going that way? Where are you going? Home? So now I just give them the drugs. It's better. Works out for everyone. Have a human trafficking problem. We also have a traffic problem, which is incredibly confusing. Like I'm always stuck on 285 going, goddamn rape culture. So I'm glad I got married because I've never been very good with the ladies. I know it's hard to believe because of my amazing good looks. But I've always been, creepy, I think. I've heard it described to me as creepy. For example, I was in a computer lab a long time ago, and the girl next to me was on StumbleUpon. I told you it was a long time ago. And I was like, oh, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's this really cool website where, you put in your preferences and your interests, and then it comes out with another web page that you might like to visit. It's like Pandora for the internet. And I said, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And she looked at me, and she said, why? And I said, well, aren't you afraid of what you might find out about yourself? And she never talked to me again. And I didn't mean anything weird or sexual. I just meant like, maybe you're into clown-based taxidermy, or like, maybe you really like Dane Cook, and that's just not something you need to know. I'll tell you why I'm suspicious of the internet. When I was in high school, my buddy was telling me the story. Like, you know, in like Saudi Arabia, sometimes instead of like only jail time, they give you like beatings too. You get like 2 weeks and 3 whips with a stick or something. You know, that's a thing. All right, well, it's a thing. Okay, so that's a thing. That's new information you now have. And my buddy was like, yeah, sometimes like for traffic offenses, they won't even write you a ticket. They'll just pull you out of the car and hit you with a stick. And I'm like, that doesn't sound true. So I Googled whipping for traffic offenses. And the first hit was this short fictional story. And I was like, oh, I love short stories. Click. And I started reading the story, and it was a very subtle story. It was about a not-so-distant future where red light cameras didn't give out tickets anymore. They gave out spankings. And you had to go to the DMV and pay your ticket. And I was reading this, and it slowly began to dawn on me. Oh my God. People masturbate to this. Which is not you don't want that to be a slow realization. That should be very obvious. Like right as you click, you're gonna be like, oh my God, oh, bookmark that for later. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So, for my wedding, I'm not going to do that. I'm a football player. This is an impression I want to try out. How old are you guys? 19. Okay, that's perfect. Good. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and said, hey, what's in a bowl, bitch? Jack and Jill went up the hill, boat with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. They didn't go for no water. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get the old dog a bone, but when she bent over, Rover took over. She got a bone of her own, I don't know. Little Bo Peep, she lost a sheep. Big fucking deal. I lost my wallet, nobody's saying shit about me. All right. So I play football. Have you guys seen me up here before? Yes. Fuck. All right. Me and my wife are cute, but we don't look cute. We're like a 45-year-old on a teeter-totter. I am at a loss. So you guys heard the big football joke, right? No. Okay, then I'll tell the big football joke. Oh my God, thank you, Lord. So I play football. And it's tough. I mean, sometimes people just really heckle you. They really get in your face. Like, they're like, hey, number 17, you suck. And that's tough, but it's nothing ever really cutting. They're never like, hey, number 17, you're turning into your father. Hey, number 17, your younger brother's more talented than you. It's really bad at when we go over to UGA. They're like, hey, number 17, y'all are losing. And we're like, not this year, bitch. But they are like, number 17, you got a stupid face, you idiot, and you go dogs. They never really yell at me though. But to be fair, I'm number 78. And that's a really high number, you guys. That's like a graduate level number for them. They're like, hey, number 7, what the hell? Hey, Joe, what kind of complex polynomial this boy got on his shirt? Thank you, guys. I've been Trey Braun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep the show going. For right now, though, we have some pizza in the back. So grab some food, you poor, starving college kids. And we're going to keep this. Let's get our mojo back. Opening up the second half of the show is Andres. So give it up for Andres.
I'm not sitting on that. What's up, folks? I'd like to thank the first half of the show for opening for me. Yeah. So Ted Cruz is running for president. Yeah. It actually wasn't the joke, but I like where a few of your heads are at. I personally don't hate the guy, but if he does somehow win and take Donald Trump's rightful place as our supreme leader, I do plan on becoming the first American to ask for refugee status in Cuba. Yeah. But I do share one thing in common with Ted Cruz is I hope all the gays go to hell. Mostly because I'm positive I'm going to hell, so a little gentrification goes a long way. Like, I'd like to know that while my soul is burning for all eternity, I'll still have brunch. You know, that'd be fucking great. Yeah. When I first got to campus, I'm lazy, so I didn't like the idea of all that walking. And I genuinely considered getting a Segway. Problem is, I don't know how to swim, and you have to know how to swim when you and your Segway are just drowning in pussy. The one big lesson I did learn freshman year of college is when you come up to your dorm room and you hear your roommate having sex in there, the appropriate response is not to kick open the door and announce, "Player 3 has entered the game." Yeah, that was, yeah. I discovered recently that there's a thing called birthday Oreos. It's a flavor of Oreos. Not birthday cake Oreos, it just says birthday Oreos. And yes, they taste exactly like what you would imagine. A fear of your own mortality and 1 year closer to your demise. And also a disappointing father. I decided a while back that to get rid of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm Hispanic, so I say Jehovah instead of Jehovah. Yeah, to get rid of the Jehovah's Witnesses when they show up at my door at 8 a.m., I'd answer the door naked. The Girl Scouts have put my address on a very special list now. Yeah. It's a bit disappointing. I think it's sad that chocolate labs are named after the one thing that tries to kill them. Like, it's like if Outkast named themselves the Police. Like, yeah. So I saw a chameleon yesterday. What a shitty chameleon, right? Yeah. So I recently got out of a long-term relationship. Well, I say long-term. It was 3 months for me, but for her it was in bitch years. My ex was kind of the Kanye West of sex. Just kind of never let me finish. Yeah. I spent last semester studying in Chile. If you don't know what Chile is, it's a country next to Argentina. It looks kind of like an apple. If the apple was long, thin, jagged, and looked nothing like an apple. But while I was there, I got the chance to expose myself to a new country. That's also illegal in Chile. So I'd like to take this moment to offer my sincerest apologies to La Asociación de Girl Scouts de Chile. I've been using Tinder a lot. Like, it's a really fun app. I can't help myself. But I like how girls put in their bios, I'll probably only swipe right for your dog. Look, you can swipe right for my dog all you want, bitch. Joke's on you, he's gay. They also like to put this thing on their Tinder, in their bios. Jesus comes first. Jesus comes first. I don't know who this Jesus guy is, but I'll make sure you come first, okay? You know, as long as you let me finish. Of all the least sexy thoughts I've had in a sexual situation, by far top of the list is, her pubes look a little bit like Hitler's mustache. It turns out you're not supposed to say those things out loud when you think them. That'll get you kicked out quick. It's worse if she takes it as a compliment. I think it says a lot about your deep-rooted insecurities if you have more guns than testicles. My stepdad has 8 guns. Or as he calls them, 8 reasons the gay Mexican liberal Muslims will never take his freedom. He actually recently went full redneck. He traded one of those guns, because we only need 7 to protect us from our black neighbors. He traded one of those guns for a 4-wheeler, which he carries around in his pickup truck. He went full redneck. I don't think he actually knows I'm Hispanic, or that he married into a Hispanic family. Like, I think it escaped his notice. So I've decided I'm gonna wait until he is what I consider to be heart attack vulnerable. And then I'll come out with a couple things and say, Matt, you might not know this, but not only am I a Hispanic, but I'm also, I don't know, a gay Muslim who sucks dick facing Mecca in the back of your pickup truck. You know. That should finish him off. Sometimes when I'm having deep, impressive thoughts in the shower, I think, what if the Charmin bears worked for Tampax? Come on, you guys have to know who the Charmin bears are. Yeah. I think Obama should reclassify homeless people as urban campers. It would bring our poverty rate down quite a bit, and it would bring the rate of people, living an active, healthy lifestyle up by like a gajillion%. So, poverty and obesity solved. You're welcome, America. I recently had a niece. My niece was born about, 5 months ago, so it's recent. And she's adorable, but she's also helped me realize that I should never, ever be a father. Thankfully, I'm 95% sure she's not mine. So, but her name is actually Khaleesi. Yeah, her name is Khaleesi, which, millennials are having kids now. And I shit you not, somebody said, oh my God, is that a Latino name? You know what? It is now. To all you Latinos out there, we just won the fucking name game. I'm claiming it. I do have one. I'll end on this. I have one story from Chile that I'd like to tell you all. It was a life-changing story. Not for the better, but it was life-changing. I was taking the train back from class one day because I was studying there, and I'm not a badass. I can't train surf, so I have to hold on to the railing. And I was about to reach up and grab it when something caught my eye. There was a used condom tied to the train rail. Yeah. And I know it's a used condom because I've seen plenty from, that was actually solid, man. I've seen plenty from when I'd come back after getting segs out. But, so me and my friend Jamie are sitting there like, holy shit, what do we do? There's a train condom. Do we tell the train police? Is this in the train police's job description? Deal with the train condoms? Oh my fucking God. And we stood there for about 20 minutes just staring at the train condom. And it seemed like nobody else noticed it. So maybe it's a regular occurrence. Just, once you finish up, just tie it in the train. But then a series of events unfolded that I wish I could say that I wanted to stop it, but part of me wanted to see it play out. There was a woman sitting a few rows back with a baby on her shoulder. And we get to a stop, and, she gets up because it's her stop. You guys know that babies like to grab shit. And I washed it as it happened, this baby just saw the Jizzy Mobile hanging up above him. And baby met his arch nemesis, birth control. And I will end by saying he was teething. Thank you guys, this was fun.
All right, the best way to end the show with a massive groan. Did you fart in the middle? That was pretty dope. Next up, we have my good friend Shale. He's opened up for a bunch of comedians all over Atlanta, Russell Peters. Please give it up for probably the most popular Indian comic in Atlanta and the second most good-looking Indian comic in Atlanta, Shale Patel.
DJ, please, cut, DJ, cut. Guys, how's it going? How are you guys? You guys good? You guys good? All right. You guys drinking? No, you're not drinking, right? You're not drinking. We're at college. We're on a college campus. You guys aren't drinking, right? Cool. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shale, and I get it. Shale can be a bit of a hard name to pronounce, right? It can be a bit of a hard name to pronounce. But what pisses me off isn't when people can't pronounce my name right. What pisses me off is when people have already made up their mind about what they think my name should be. Like, I'll introduce myself to someone. I'm like, hey, my name is Shale. Nice to meet you. They're like, nice to meet you, Kumar. I'm like, how the hell did you guess my middle name? How did you do that? That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't listen to the radio anymore. I can't listen to the radio because the radio plays Flo Rida, and Flo Rida sucks. I just realized the other day his name is just Florida. That's all it is. They just named him after the Sunshine State. That's all they did. Because Flo Rida is so shitty. Like, to me, the only time I think it's acceptable to listen to Flo Rida is if you're drunk at a Dave & Buster's. That's the only time. You've had one too many beers and you're just in the urinal. Just apple bottom jeans, boots. You start slide stepping urinal to urinal. It's just really shitty music. There's a lot of really shitty commercials, too. I was watching this Siri commercial. And it was an Apple commercial, and they were using Siri. And the guy on the commercial was like, Siri, can you send a message to Jim, John, and Jacob saying me and Sarah are on our way? Dude, message sent, right? That shit doesn't work with me. Because for me, it's like, Siri, can you send Pankaj, Arthi, Tupinder, and Stupinder a message that me and Priya are on our way? Dude, we located 4 7-Elevens in your area. That's not what I asked for. That's not what I asked for. My little cousin, she's like 9 years old. She just got an iPhone, which I think I'm totally against it. Because who the fuck do you have to call when you're 9 years old, right? Like, it's stupid. Like, hang on one second. I got to take this. It's my pediatrician. All right, Doc, give it to me straight. Is it chicken pox? Like, who do you have to call? Like, giving a kid a cell phone, in my opinion, is just cheating on parenthood. That's what it is. It's cheating on parent. Because there's certain things as a parent you want to experience with your kid, right? There's certain things as a parent that you want to experience. You want to have that moment with your kid. And when you give them a cell phone, you lose that connection that you have with a lot of kids. And it's true. This is like real shit. This is real life shit, right? It's true because, like, for example, like giving your kid the birds and the bees talks. I guarantee you 75% of kids nowadays know more about their parents about the birds and the bees than they do, right? Like literally a dad nowadays, like, son, when a mom and a dad, or basically when any man and woman love each other enough, they do this thing wherein the kid's like, okay, Dad, I'm going to stop you right there. Sometimes I'm just trying to fuck. I don't think we should give kids cell phones. It's bad. I'm a real territorial person. I'm really territorial. And it gets pretty bad, like especially like me and my girlfriend, we can't go to movies anymore because it's just a constant war over the armrest, right? It's just a constant battle over the armrest. And honestly, like we went and saw Cinderella, right? And I was literally like nudging the guy next to me to get off my armrest. And then he looks at me, he's like, hey, asshole, can you get your hand off my wheelchair? All right. I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I didn't see that wheelchair because I'm blind. He was like, wow, that is bullshit. And then he just got up and walked away. I was like, what the? I recently went on vacation with my parents. We went to Mexico City because that's where the real people go, is Mexico City, where all the drugs are. And this Cancun bullshit, right? We went to the heart of Mexico, Mexico City, right? And it's crazy. Like we were waiting in line for TSA, right? We're waiting in line, and my phone had just died, which really sucks because that's like a 3-hour flight with a dead phone. So this lady, I asked this lady in front of us, I was like, what time is it? And she's like, oh, she checks her watch and she's like, oh, it's 9:11, and looks at me and goes, but no offense. Two things. Number one, wrong race. Second thing, it wasn't offensive until you said, no offense. It was bullshit. And then we like keep stepping forward in line, right? We keep stepping forward. And a TSA officer goes, oh, by the way, what time did you say it was? And I was like, you're going to have to give me a minute. You're going to have to give me a minute. 9:12. It's 9:12. And then we get on the plane. This is the worst part. When you go to Cancun, you have like this really big, nice plane, right? You have this really big, nice plane. When you go to Mexico City, you get like half the size of that plane, because no one goes to fucking Mexico City. No one goes unless you're part of the drug cartel. No one goes to Mexico City. So we're going to Mexico City, right? We get on the plane, and about halfway through the plane, the pilot gets on the intercom and goes, we're going to have to land this plane in Austin, Texas. We're running low on fuel. That's all he said. Like, he just made that huge announcement just like that. Didn't give us anything else. Immediately, the lady next to me looks at me and she goes, this is bullshit. I have a connecting flight. This is going to ruin my entire day. This is bullshit. Okay, again, two things. Number one, who the fuck connects in Mexico City? Who the fuck has a connecting flight in Mexico City? Number two, if we don't land this plane, you're going to miss the connection to the rest of your life. Landing a plane because we are low on gas is probably the best reason to land a fucking plane. That's like at that point, I was so fed up with her. I was so fed up, right? Then 20 minutes later, the captain gets back on and he's like, you know what? We're just going to go for it. Like as if this was some kind of 4th and goal situation. Like if we get it, we're going to the Super Bowl. It sucks, right? It sucked. So we made it. We made it. We made it to Mexico City safely. I'm going to end on this one. I'm going to get out of here. I've been dating this girl for a while. You guys can clap it up for that if you want. I've been dating. Yeah. And we're at the point in our relationship where we're having sex on the reg, right? We're having sex on the reg. Because before that, it was just a lot of hand jobs. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I'm not a big fan of hand jobs. Because to me, getting a hand job is a lot like looking at a painting in an art museum, right? Because the entire time, you're just standing there shaking your head like, I could have done this shit myself. But I really like this girl I'm with. I really like her because before that, I dated this white girl. And she was like one of those white girls that like to like try. Like she was really fit and healthy. She liked to try out all these new diets, right? She liked to try out every single new diet that came out, which I was okay with until she started incorporating cheat days, where she would still eat healthy but sleep with other dudes. I was like, I did not sign up for this. That same white girl also thought it was really sexy if I talked to her in Hindi while we were having sex. That's like the least sexiest thing I've ever heard. Literally, she was like, oh, Shell, can you speak Hindi to me? I was like, yeah, baby, I can. $3.50 for regular unleaded. Hottest sex I've ever had. And my ex before that, I thought she was the one, right? And then she broke up with me, which really sucked. It really sucked. And it sucked, right? And then a month later, after we broke up, I ran into her, and I made the worst mistake of my life. I asked her how she's handling the breakup. And she looked at me and she goes, Shale, I've never been better. Which really sucks, right? Then I felt, she asked me the question too. She was like, how are you handling the breakup? And I felt obligated at that point to one-up her, right? So I was like, you know, I'm gay. No joke, she looks at me and she goes, I had a feeling. Thank you guys so much. My name is Shale Patel. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, keep it going for Shell, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going for Shell Patel. The Jackson Pollock of hand jobs. Yeah, never heard it quite put that way. Actually, at my age, I'm a huge fan of hand jobs because I read an NIH study years ago that said the more ejaculation you have, the less likely you are to get prostate cancer, right? And they don't tell you that, though, because it's the drug companies. They always want you to take a drug. The drug they want you to take now is called Flomax. I don't care what the bodily fluid is. I don't want to maximize the flow. Optimize the flow, maybe, not maximize the flow. But you know that's got to lead to some awkward moments with Obamacare nowadays, right? You're looking for a happy ending in the back room of the Claremont Lounge. Look, you cheap son of a bitch. You want a happy ending to your massage. You pay $50 extra. Good news, it's now covered by your HMO. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, we've got some special guests in the house. We've got some of the folks from the on-air team of the morning show on Rock 100.5. We've got Brandy right there. You recognize her because she looks like someone who doesn't like to do calculus for fun and profit. And we've got a special guest here tonight, one of the interns that I listened to doing some comedy on the morning show today. It's his first time ever. Right? So let's try and be supportive. He's going to come up here, but he's got the added pressure of not only being his first time up on stage doing stand-up comedy, but the fact that Jason, Southside Steve, Tim will be waiting to pounce on him tomorrow morning. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please, a warm round of applause for the one, the only, Josh the intern from Rock 100.5.
So I'm Josh, and let me give you a little backstory. Well, all right. I am 31 years old, divorced, and I live in the basement of my parents' house. True story. Basically, I got a divorce, did 6 years in Iraq, 6 years in the Air Force, 7 months in Iraq. Let me tell you, it was crazy. Basically, the saying is, I don't know what I was doing with my life. I was like, hey, let's go to the Air Force. And they looked at me and it's like, give me 50. 50 what? 50 bucks? I'm sorry. Bad jokes. Basically, I live in a house of nuts. My parents are crazy. And I somehow inherited this, but for some odd reason, only in my mind. So let me say some jokes. First of all, here's a stupid one I told this morning. Why did Mickey Mouse get shot? Because Donald ducked. Think about it. Yeah, I know. So I heard on the news that the Clemson head coach died. He went to heaven. St. Peter's waiting for him. He's like, so let me show you around heaven. This is where you're going to live. He showed him a little ranch house with, faded Clemson colors, whatever. So they're walking around the house. He looks at it, and then all of a sudden he sees on top of the hill big old Georgia Tech colors, big old mansion. And he's like, so St. Peter, why do I get this house and Georgia Tech head coach gets this one? He's like, that ain't Georgia Tech's coach's house. That's God's house. Yeah, I know. It's lame. A guy goes to the doctor, and he's like, doctor, my finger hurts. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, my body hurts all the time. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, wherever I touch, it hurts. And he's like, you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, aren't you? He's like, how do you guess? Because your finger's broke. And I will admit, I was a Tech fan all the way through high school, and it was hard. Because where I live, 20 minutes down the road, if you go the other way, yeah, it's that school. Bunch of morons, if you ask me. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not really, let's see. What else? Okay. A mother and son goes to zoo, and they passed some monkeys, having sex. Oh, never mind. And and they're like, "Mommy, what's they doing?" They're making a cake. I was like, "Okay." And then they go over and they see the giraffes having sex, and he's like, "Mommy, what are they doing?" They're baking a cake. Okay. And then all of a sudden they see some rhinos going at it, and he's like, "Mommy, I know what they're doing. They're baking a cake." Yes, that's good, son. So at the very end, next morning, son goes up to wake up mom and dad, and they're like, "I know what you and Daddy were doing last night." She's like, "What?" "Baking a cake." And she's like, "Okay, how do you know that?" "Because I licked the icing off the couch last night." Yeah, I got perverted jokes. Thanks.
Let's give it up for children licking cum. Woo! Thank you for coming out and supporting Geekapalooza. Next up, we have one of my good friends. Her name is Allie Foreman. Maybe you've seen her before perform. And I don't know what I could say about her. She's very intelligent, very well accomplished, but most importantly, she has an outrageous donk. Well, I stare at it when she's not looking. So give it up for Allie Foreman.
Oh, wow. Jeez. That means a lot coming from Zane. Have you guys seen his penis? Because we have been looking everywhere. Okay, so trying out some new stuff tonight, so be supportive. So April Fool's Day came this week, which is basically just a holiday where we laugh at people for believing lies that we told them. So we lie to people and then we laugh at them, which is it's hard for me because it cuts really close to my dating life. Like the number of guys who I've gone out with and they're like, "I had a great time. That was so fun. I'm gonna call you." And then I just know that they go home and they're like, "Do you see her face? She totally believed it." Sorry, that was a weird impression. I use that voice because I only date guys who go to KA. It's a preference thing. And I'm not particularly gullible or bad at dates. I know how these things go. But it's just, I kind of always hope for something better, Women are always when they start dating somebody, they're always like, "I'm gonna need you to be 100% honest with me. Can you do that? Can you be 100% honest 100% of the time, 100%? And what is the guy gonna say? No? That starts the completely imminent lying. He's not gonna be like, no, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm there with you, babe, when he's really thinking if I'm honest with you 60% of the time, you're getting the league leading average. That is not, you're asking for way, 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 way too much. And of course, it's not just guys, by the way. Women do this too. Everyone does. Because if we were truly honest at the start of any relationship, 100% honest, it just we would never spend any time with anyone ever. People on dating ads, right? People like being told, "I like dogs and long walks on the beach and not wearing panties when we're at your friend's birthday party." That's what they like. They don't like the truth. They don't want to hear, "Yeah, I like watching toddlers and tiaras until I'm blind. No, I will not watch the Final Four with you. Going to the walk to Waffle House is about much as I'm damn near going to be able to handle. And honestly, if you text me before noon on a weekday or on a weekend, I will murder your family, burn down your house, and salt the earth." People don't respond to that well. We do this even in casual relationships. It's you go to Target, and they're going to say, "How are you?" And you're going to say, "I'm fine," because that's what you're supposed to do. If they said, "How are you?" and you responded with, "I'm on a stupid diet that has me hungry enough that I want to gnaw off my hand. I just failed a chemistry test, and I have cramps so bad I am ready to confess to a crime," they would look at you weird. And it's not, for me personally, I've decided that I'm going to start going the other way. and see how people react. So if I go into Target and the cashier says to me, "How are you?" I'm going to respond with this. This is the best day of my life. I have never been happier, more fulfilled, more successful, more loved, or loving. This is the pinnacle of my existence. I have achieved nirvana. My yin and yang is perfectly combined, and I have reached a peak of sublime happiness. And when I hit this peak of sublime happiness, when I knew that I had truly hit perfection, I looked myself in the mirror and I said, "I'm going to fucking Target." How are you? I mean, we lie up front about what we are and what we expect, and we all agree to this. It's like we're all low-level superheroes hiding our secret identities. I mean, like, imagine this dating scenario.
I am so glad that you decided to go out with me, Sean. After we met at that Kappa Gamma Slamma party, I knew that we should go out together. So tell me about yourself.
And he'll go, "Sorry, I can't. Gotham's fate is at hand." Like, that's the kind of stuff that we kind of expect from each other. And I mean, like, speaking of Gotham, I would really like to have superpowers, other than being fabulous. But I think it's kind of hard to get a good superpower these days, like flying or super strength, because I feel like they're probably already taken. So this is what I think would happen if I went to get a superpower now at an agency.
Hi, Allie. We're really excited to have you here at ITS, which, as you know, stands for Isn't That Super. I'm Carla, and I'm going to be helping you pick out your superpower today.
Okay. Well, Carla, I've always kind of liked the idea of flying, being right up next to the atmosphere.
I'm going to stop you there. Yeah, we already have that one taken. Yeah, Superman, Superwoman, Wonder Woman with the little plane. Even Spider-Man had to end up getting a permit for that whole web slinging thing, which I'm pretty sure is just flying. So yeah, you're gonna have to pick something else. Okay. What about like incredible strength? Like I could get strong. I'm gonna stop you there. Yeah. Okay. See, the thing is, the Incredible Hulk already has that covered. And word to the wise, just a little note. I dated him once, and we had this little time back in Destin. Not that incredible. Not that incredible. Okay, how about the ability to get super strong all of a sudden? No. Already, Human Torch and what's that other one? Aquaman. Yeah, they already got the whole transform. Oh, okay. Geez, maybe you can just tell me what is available. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. You could do a Rubik's Cube like really fast, or you could accurately predict who's going to get killed next on House of Cards. Is that okay? What else? All right, I can give you the power to remember all your passwords. I have an app for that. Yeah, okay, I'm trying. How about the ability to raise the temperature in the room by a couple of degrees? I sort of already have that superpower. Oh, you think you're funny. Okay. What about the ability to never get paper cuts? No? Grill fish really just right every time? No. The ability to arrange furniture completely perfectly? No, but hey, I do have one idea about a power that I'd like to have that I'm pretty sure no one else has ever scooped up. I want the power to make guys always be 100% honest. Oh, sweetie, we do superpowers, not miracles. Thanks, guys.
Keep it going for Allie Foreman. All right, we're almost ready to wrap up here. Next up, we have a guy who kind of looks a little bit like me. Kirit. Give it up for Kirit.
No, keep clapping, y'all. Come on. Yeah. Y'all only clap for the sexy Indian guys, right? Why are you laughing? What? Wait. Hey, whoa. Yo, hold up. First of all, do that weird ooh thing again. I like that. Yeah. All right, now be like, yeah, Zane pretty cute though. Say it. I'm not kidding, I'll say it. He has self-esteem issues, just tell him. Okay. Tell him you like his glasses. See, Zane, they like you. But they like me more. Because I'm me. Dude, yeah, dude, what the hell, bro? You just like fucked that whole crew, man. What direction are they gonna go in now? Is it left? Is it horizontal? We don't know. But I wish you best of luck on your solo career. Seriously though, dude can sing. Had my pants off. He did though, and then he asked me to put them back on politely, and I was like, "This skinny pants, just effort." And then he was like, "Okay, I'll just call you an Uber." Hey, thanks, man. Did y'all know? Not this. Did y'all know on campus that in the bathrooms we have a little something called glory holes? Hold on. Let me finish the joke. Okay. First, did y'all? Okay. Woo if you've seen a glory hole on campus. I'm sorry. Wait. How many people wooed? 2 people wooed. Y'all gross. But okay. So have you ever? Do you guys know what a glory hole is? Oh, someone said no. This means I get to describe it in gratuitous detail. Okay. So. You go into the bathroom, right? Now, the thing with male and female bathrooms, this is not to exclude anyone else, this is just how the bathrooms are separated. You go to the male or female bathroom, there's always going to be some stalls, right? With some walls that are dividing them so that people can have their privacy while they do horrifying things. Seriously, have you ever oh, jeez, oh God. I work now in an ugly building not too far from here, and oh my God. Anyway, so there are stalls, right? And there are toilets and, whatnot. You all know how bathrooms are laid out. So a glory hole is a situation in which... I can't believe I'm describing this to you guys. Y'all suck. So it's a situation in which someone has fashioned a hole. Oh, let's just accurate. Wall. Well, hole. Right? I don't know how they create... Okay. This dude's like humping the Okay. No, it's fine, bro. It's fine. Just practice. Okay. So they fashion the hole. Is it it's like I don't know what kind of material that is. Like you can't just like stick a fork in there and make it work, or a steak. I don't know, man. Okay, so there's like a hole. Right, and you would be like, oh, at first sight, you're like, oh, this is where they pass sandwiches through. Wrong. It's not for sandwiches. It's like a hole that it could be like this. It's like a solid, I don't know, 53 to 56.5 millimeters diameter. Okay. So you can figure out the area and this, whatever. So you have a roughly circular, because it's hard to get a perfect circle. You know what I mean? Like a solid okay. So it's like a 357-degree circle. You're I don't know how this works, but okay. So you have this glory hole, and people will take their peen, right? I love this guy. I love this man. Can we date? Just meet me in the bathroom in the IC. So, seriously though, those bathrooms are so gross, y'all. Okay, so usually it's a male will stick the peen like this way, okay? And I was telling my friend about these glory holes, and he was like, why would anyone do that, right? And I was like, well, sometimes there's a female on the other side, or there's a mouth on the other side that's just waiting for a peen. And they'll S the peen. I have to say S because I don't know how, they'll suck the peen. Or they'll shape it, I don't know, it's like pottery. Okay, so, a little tip, okay. I don't know what I'm doing up here. So you can go into a glory hole, right? And you just, and then there could be like a mouth that can S the peen, right? But then I was like, hold on, now before you get too excited, sometimes there can be a bear trap. And then he was like, but why would anyone want to do it? And then for some reason, I just put on my best Matthew McConaughey voice, and I was just like, look, man, a dick's a dick. A suck's a suck. Bear trap's a bear trap. And that's all I have to say about glory holes. Although, for real, dude, I see you, me, tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Friday? So after your noon. After your 11:55, meet me. Oh, boy. Let's do some new stuff. I haven't done any new stuff. Yeah. I was going to make a joke about white people, but then I saw there was too many, and I couldn't beat you all, so never mind. Ooh, that was that was like, ha! Tell us more. Yeah, y'all scary. For real, though, y'all scary. Oh, so this is a true story. Y'all hear these garbage statistics, right, about how scientists like, hey, it takes 42 muscles to frown and only 37 to smile. So go ahead and smile. You have a nice day. And so I learned actually no, it takes 11 muscles to smile and 10 to frown. So go ahead and frown because none of your dreams will ever come true. Dude, seriously though, if I got a wedding cake of just you and me on it, but we were on each platform, would you? Would you? Yes. What? Wait, ask that again? When I graduate? Well, I did graduate. And let's just say, yeah, so like, what are you doing later? Is that just two more minutes or no? No? Oh, okay. I'm going to wrap it up with one last joke because I apparently waste all my time talking about glory holes. Like an idiot. Okay, last thing, real quick. Okay, two quick ones. Okay, so first, bunch of guys, Georgia Tech, bunch of guys. What do you call it when a bunch of guys are hanging out together? You call it sausage fest, right? Okay, 2 people call it a sausage fest. Earlier generations called it a sausage fest because it's like peens and stuff. Okay, so I want to say, bunch of girls, get together. I want to call it a taco fiesta. I think that's amazing. Y'all laugh. Thank you. Last joke. Okay, so why do we have, well, no, y'all too young, but I'll just do it for the cool older people who drink. So we have beer and barbecue festivals, right? That's the thing. Like there's beer and there's barbecue, and then there's also like whiskey and barbecue. But I, as a recently graduated college student, I want like what the college kids want for a festival. I want like a Natty Light and Chinese food festival. Like that would be amazing to me. Like, because you can just get trashed Chinese food, $25 all day. Like, that would be amazing. Okay, y'all have been great. Sorry about the glory hole stuff. Zane's coming back. Maybe he'll teach me about it. Thank you. He's so pretty, though.
This show started well for me, and then I got called ugly, and then somebody implied that my penis fell off. Or I just didn't have one in the beginning. I'm not sure which one. Next up, this guy organized a stand-up show called For the Kids, and he's performed with Geekapaloosa a couple times. I hope he becomes a regular. He is hilarious. His name is Will Farr. He looks like the love child of Neville Longbottom and Ron Weasley. So give it up for Will Farr.
I'm a little overdressed. Sorry. I came from work. I sell papers in the 1890s. It's a very niche market. A lot of standing on crates and yelling. I saw the saddest thing I've ever seen in the whole world this week. One item. Mermaid brought it home from Target. It's a one-person crock pot, like a slow cooker for one man. That's sad because that says, yeah, I'm gonna eat alone 12 hours from now. Over the course of my day, I'll find no one to share this dinner with. Might as well get it started now. You don't want to come home alone and then have to cook. I am kidding. I live alone. It's mine. It's on right now. Do a sad joke first, do a stupid one next. This is the stupidest joke I have. I just like to get out of the way so you guys know who you're dealing with. I read online that a man's hit with a train every 45 seconds. You'd think he'd move. There we go, it's gone. The rest is all better. I like that joke, picturing a guy like in a CVS, and like his watch goes off, he's like, oh shoot, you guys better back up. Like he's not on the track, it just follows him. Comedy's hard, you gotta stay fresh, you gotta stay on it. Material's gotta be new, because when your jokes get old, they get dated and it shows. And it's really awkward when that happens. Who's watching the Olympics this week? Nobody? The Olympics are fun, but I feel like they're a lot like a bigger deal when I was a kid. Like now it's just like, oh, the Olympics are back, cool. Back then it was like, oh, holy crap, Olympics. And I thought of some ways to make them kind of more exciting. And first of all, I don't think they're fair because we're sending like our best athletes against like Estonia's best athletes. That's a real one-sided. So I think in the sake of fairness, we should do it like a draft. Like 9 days before the Olympics start, you get a letter in the mail, and you're just like, oh shoot. What, jury duty? Boxing. I gotta fight Venezuela in a week and a half. Because like 9 days gives you a chance to give like some semblance of the game, but not great at it. So that just like screams even playing field. Like picture like 5 guys in a bobsled. None of them have been in a bobsled before. Just hauling ass, all named Robert. No? No Roberts in the house? Guys named Robert love that joke because their name's Bob. There we go. That's the groan I wanted when I wrote this joke. Yeah, that's my, bless you. My favorite event in the Olympics is the biathlon. You guys watch that? Who knows what the triathlon is? Show of hands, triathlon. Like most of you, cool. Triathlon is running, biking, and swimming, like the 3 most basic forms of like athleticism. What is what the biathlon is? A couple of you? Cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. What happened there? I guess competitive hot dog eating and backgammon were too random of a pair. Like, how do those things ever get put together? It's my favorite thing, but it could be better. I've got 3 ways. Number 1, no more cross-country. You're going downhill from now on. No more rifle shooting, Old West style, 6-shot revolver. No more still targets, other players. Death race to the bottom. Because that would add some strategy. You could ski fast and avoid the crossfire or hold back and pick them off. And I just feel like that I would want to watch. And you found out about this 9 days ago. Like, you got a letter in the mail telling you of the icy death race that now you're not competing in. That's my favorite thing to watch. My least favorite thing was a TV show on the E! Network called Ice Loves Coco. All right, some low standards here. That's why you're laughing. Ice Loves Coco was a TV show documenting the many adventures of Ice-T, the rapper, and his girlfriend, Coco. And I never actually watched the show, but I hated it because the title was Ice Loves Coco. And you can't tell me there are 2 people in this world, both named after beverages, and the best title they can come up with was Ice Loves Coco. Here's what I thought of in 4.5 seconds. Ice-T and Coco. Love is brewing. No? Okay. I like cereal. You guys eat cereal? There's no segue for that. I like cereal. I like the thing they do with cereal. I like to take one part of the cereal and then make a cereal that's just that. Like Captain Crunch is like just the crunch berries, and Honey Bunches of Oats is like just the bunches. There should be a cereal. It's like just the dust from the bottom of the other bags of cereal. Like some of you aren't picturing a man whose life is terrible. He has like 2 whiny kids and a naggy wife, and the best part of his 2 weeks is the bottom of the bag of Cheerios. And then he goes in the store one day, and there it is on the shelf. Kellogg's bag of dust. I don't know, kind of picturing you're picturing. For me, it's a little burlap sack. He just sees it there, just starts crying, just opens it, snorts the whole thing right there. So I don't know how you take cereal dust. That's got to be it. It's got a gimmick. You guys seen that? Who has the Galaxy phone? The Galaxy S, whatever. A couple here. You guys remember this? When they first started selling it, the big thing was you could send a picture from one phone to the next by like clacking them together. That resonated. We had one person. Oh yeah, I remember that. I love that. 'Cause it's like the people at Samsung were like, "How would someone who's never seen a cell phone before think a cell phone works?" They found some like homeless hermit under a rock and were like, "Send this photo to this phone." He was like, "Ah, we'll do that." That's intuitive as hell. Commercials are silly. They can be scary though. There was one that was so scary a few years ago. They pulled it from the air. It was that commercial for meth. I'm gonna rephrase that. It wasn't for meth. It wasn't like where to buy. It was a pretty anti-methamphetamine. And in the commercial, there's a girl in the shower washing her hair. You've had showers. And she turns around, the meth version of her is behind her, crouched, and she's like all scabby and got like bad teeth. She looks up and goes, "Not even once." And they pulled it after like 2 weeks. Everyone got freaking out about that commercial. But it worked. It helped a lot of people. Helped me change my ways. I still smoke meth. I haven't showered in like 2 weeks. Not gonna happen to me. Real quick before I go, we can complain about one thing. It's those sad Sarah McLachlan dog commercials. You guys know those? It's like Sarah McLachlan on a couch with like a beaten up wiener dog next to her. And she's like, "For 10 cents a day, you can save this dog." That dog's got it pretty good. That dog is in an air-conditioned home with Sarah McLachlan right now. If you wanted to incite some sort of emotion in me, you'd put that dog next to a celebrity who like I wouldn't trust with the dog. Like, "Hi, I'm Mike Vick." For 10 cents a day, cameraman grabs the dog and goes, just throws money at him. "My name's Will Farr." Give it up for Zane.
All right. Your last comic for the night is my favorite comic. Give it up for Zane Sharif. Woo! All right, cool. I do this thing at North Ave where if I'm in the elevator and it's about to close and I hear someone go, "Hey, hold that for me," I take my right hand and I hit the closed door button. And then I take my left hand and I go, "Oh, I'm trying, I don't know." I feel like if I was a nurse in a delivery room, I'd have a lot of fun on April Fools. Congrats, your baby's healthy! I probably wouldn't do that. I'd just mix around a bunch of the babies. Like I'd give like a white couple a black baby. And then I'd just watch them go, "Hey, hi, sorry. We know you're busy, but we think there's been a mistake." And I'd be like, "It's your baby, your mistake." And they'd be like, "No, I just don't think you gave us the right baby." And I'd be like, "Oh, so if it's a black baby, it's the wrong baby." They'd be like, "Oh, it's okay, we'll just keep this baby." And then they'd have like the conversation like, "What should we name him?" And the wife's like, "Should we just stick with the original name?" And he's like, "I don't know, he doesn't look like a Chad anymore." Black guy named Chad jokes. That's ironic because Chad is a country in Africa, but if you're named Chad, you probably don't like black people. I go to the gym every day. I don't actually do anything there. I just go every day. I take the red route there, and then I touch the door handle, and then I take the blue route back. If I do go in there, I just text people and tell them I'm at the gym. One time I saw my friend, he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Working out, idiot." And he was like, "No, what muscle groups?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know what muscle groups, dude. I just pull and push shit until I feel mild discomfort. And then I go home. That's what every workout has been. And why do muscles have groups? Like chest calls triceps? Bro, you wanna hang out? Yeah, sure, let's go. Should we call glutes? Nah. Fuck that guy. He's an ass. He talks shit all the time. He smells bad. His face looks like a couple butt cheeks. That joke always goes off the rails at the end. One time I was studying abroad for like Spanish to gain exposure in the real world, and I started a sentence. I was with my friends, and I was like, "Hey, these Mexicans," and he was like, "Dude, you can't say that. You have to say these Hispanic people." And I was like, "Oh my God, me of all people, how could I be so politically incorrect? I'm so cultured and socially aware." And then I was like, "Hey, dude, fuck you. We're in Mexico. I can just point at people's faces and go, hey, look at that Mexican right there. It's total. I can't say that dirty Mexican. But if he hadn't showered in like a week, I could totally go, hey, look at that dirty Mexican. There's a group of dirty Mexicans right there. Because he'd be dirty and he'd be a Mexican. But that's the fear that we have with trying to be politically correct all the time, right? Like, I think real racism is really quiet. I'll give you an example. So my dad and I were driving, and we were at like a crosswalk at a red light. And I saw a Hispanic father, right? And he picked up his daughter, and with his other hand, he picked up her Dora the Explorer backpack. I'm not being racist. She actually had Dora the Explorer backpack. And he gave her a kiss, and then he walked across the crosswalk. And I thought, oh my God, you know, when I become a father, I hope to have this kind of affection and care. And I looked at my dad to see if we could have a moment there. And he just quietly locked the car door. And I was like, what the hell, Dad? And I swear to God, he said, you never know with them. That's what real racism looks like. All right, this is, let's change gears here a little bit. Let's not talk about my father. Actually, let's keep talking about my dad. One time I got the birds and the bees talk from my dad. It was interesting. You guys had the birds. Raise your hand if you had a formal birds and the bees talk. Yeah? So the rest of you guys just don't know about sex is what I'm... Okay, cool. So it's when a man... Okay. So my dad's birds and the bees talk with me was, I quote, okay? And he has an accent, but I'm not going to use it. My dad said, a woman is like a painting. It's only beautiful when you observe it from a distance. But when you go up to touch the painting, it's no longer beautiful. And I thought about it, and I was like, Dad, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Are you telling me not to bang artwork? Because that wasn't the plan. It confused me for a long time after. I was at the High Museum last week, and 10 minutes in, I was like, why am I hard right now? It confused me with relationships for a while too. Like I've had a bunch of failed relationships. I broke up with one girl because she didn't know how to text. I know, it's sad. When I broke up with her, I told her, it's not you, it's. Seriously, know when to use an apostrophe. She would write the number 4 instead of typing in FOR. Do you know what it takes to write the number 4? You have to go to the number keyboard, hit 4, and then go to the alphabet keyboard. It's 3 keystrokes either way. You're saving no time. I texted her after my first date, and I was like, I really like you. And she texted back, I really like you too. And I was like, I don't know what a popular Irish band has to do with this conversation. Jeez, all right, we're gonna have to pick this up. Let's get into some dirty shit. Maybe that'll bring some life back. Let's talk about the difference between men and women. I think there are a bunch of differences, but I think one of the most prominent ones is that men, I don't know how to put this without offending anyone. Women approach guys to talk to based on honestly really trivial shit, and I'm getting tired of it, like personality or like intelligence. What? Guys approach women based on who they think they could bring to a party that would make all their other guy friends jealous. And it's wrong, but it's kind of, sort of, a little true. See, like, women get this feeling of, like, love when you do things for them, when you're kind to them. Guys are most affectionate to their girlfriends when another guy goes, hey, you look like a piece of shit. What is she doing with you? That's when guy goes, I love you. But even, like, anatomically, men and women are different. Like, I don't want to get graphic, but, like, coming. Just think about it, like, from a aesthetic standpoint. Women, y'all's, like, back arches, and you, like, moan, and it looks pretty. Guys look horrible when they come. It's really like, it's the grossest thing. If I showed you a guy coming with no context, you'd be like, that dude is possessed. Somebody call an exorcist. The devil is trying to get out of him. Father, oh, okay, he's asleep now. He's okay. Father, it's fine. I don't know where I was going to go with this joke. Where was I going to go? I don't know. The point that I'm trying to make is that guys, like, we devolve. Like, coming activates some weird part of our brains where we, like, devolve like 5 species. Like, you know that thing, the evolutionary thing of, like, this guy is coming. But you don't know it because he's always like this. But this guy's over here like, hello, I can be a functioning member of society today. But I think what's really skewing our perceptions of sexuality in the 21st century is porn. Because I don't think, I watch a lot of it, but too much probably. But I just don't think it's healthy. You know that feeling, like, girls, you probably watch porn too, it's okay. But you know that feeling you get after you watch porn and you're like, ugh, like right after you come, you're like, that's somebody's daughter. That's probably indication enough that porn is not a good idea. Because there are like reports, there's like research on people who first started watching porn and like they would get off and be like, ooh, like nipples or whatever. And that would be enough. And then like 2 years later, they can only get off to like midgets fucking in like bubble wrap on like hot air balloons or something. There's probably a channel dedicated specifically to that group of people. But it increases the stimulus, it increases the threshold for the stimulus of sex, right? Like how frequent it is, how rough it is, and you know, that skews our perception of things. But more than that, more than the fact that it subtly enforces rape culture, it's just the acting in the direction is horrible. And that's my real issue with it. Like, there's a very common porn premise, which honestly makes no sense, where there's a teacher. A lot of times the teacher's a guy, and it can be reversed, right? But the teacher's a guy, and and like the bell rings, and the entire class leaves, okay? And then one student comes back in, and first of all, she is breaking the dress code. Completely. Like, if it were real life, she'd be sent home at 8:05 a.m. There's no way she could have lasted till 4. So she comes back in and she goes, Professor, she doesn't call him professor, she's dumber than that, but she says like, I was wondering if I could get an A. And he goes, you want an A? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, what are you willing to do for it? And she says, anything. And then he whips his dick out and she starts sucking it like 30 seconds later. Getting a blowjob is not that easy. I would know. If he would have said, I'm asking you to do this because I love you and care about you, and then got a blowjob, I'd be like, wow, this is a really realistic porno right now. And the guy, he takes his pants all the way off. Like, class just got out, man. There are kids still in the hall. You have a homework assignment on the board. What if he needs help? You took it off your fucking ankles, dude. Somebody walks in, you go, oh, I'm sorry, let me just put my dick. Just put it out the zipper. It makes so much sense. There's no way that situation could turn into a porno in real life. Except for, he whips his dick out. She calls the cops, like, immediately. There's a trial. He goes to jail. First day in jail, he gets fucked by 3 guys in the shower. The last 10 minutes of the video is just him crying alone. And then it goes, Brazzers. Also, why isn't the alternative to that for the girl, like for him to whip his dick out and then for the girl to go, all right, 2 things. Put your dick back in your pants. And second, if you don't give me an A, I'm telling the administrator. All right, look. That's pretty much all the content I have for tonight. And I just want to say that we had 3 UTCs this year, and it was a new thing that we started. And I know that there's a pretty big repeat crowd. So I just wanted to thank all you guys for supporting Geekapalooza and supporting stand-up comedy. Hopefully it becomes a part of the culture at Tech. And I also want to thank Pete and Lou for always being so supportive and trying to nurture young comics at Tech. So thank you guys. Good night.